What's going on, everyone? So welcome to my latest video. This is my latest top 10 video, and this time around I am doing my top 10 must-own 4K UHDs. So previously, if you didn't check it out just yet, I would highly recommend you check out my top 10 must-own Blu-rays. This is one of those videos that I've been very much so looking forward to do for quite some time, but it's so hard to pick favorites, especially in terms of the 4K format. But I look at it this way. I know many people like doing streaming in terms of convenience, and I get that. But in terms of quality, physical media is far less compressed than streaming. To give you an idea, the average 4K that you watch on streaming, it's about 5 to 7 gigabytes probably, we'll say on average, versus physical media in terms of 4K, it's about 50 to 70. So yeah, that's a huge difference in terms of the amount of gigabytes that's on it. And you can tell a lot. I love physical media. I love Blu-rays, don't get me wrong, but this video is going to be a 2-for-1. On one hand, if you are someone that is kind of tired of streaming, going on a streaming service and saying, oh, I want to watch this movie, and then a month later it's not on there. If you're someone like that and you want to try to get into physical media and you're like, you know what, I'm going to buy a bunch of Blu-rays, but I want to figure out which ones I also want to pick up on 4K, this video is for you. But at the same time, if you're also someone like myself that is pretty selective in terms of the 4Ks that you pick up in terms of upgrading from Blu-rays to 4K, this video is also for you because in my opinion, I'm going to give you guys 5 honorable mentions and then 10 films that in my opinion, every physical media collector must own on 4K. And it's going to be one of those things where you'll notice a lot of these films are shot on film. There are some that were shot digitally, but you'll see what I'm talking about. And I'm also going to be talking about the video, the audio, the packaging, bonus features. I'll be talking about all of that, as well as if I've seen it previously on Blu-ray, DVD, and theaters and whatnot, just to give you guys a little bit of background in regards to each film. So sit back. Hopefully you enjoy. And again, I'll be going from honorable mentions, the one that was furthest for making the top 10 to the one that was close would pretty much be my number 11. And then going from 10 to 1, with 1 being the one that every physical media collector must own on 4K. So guys, enough exposition. Let's get started. So kicking things off with the list, we have The Revenant. So The Revenant is a film I saw in theaters, loved it in theaters, and then I did pick it up on Blu-ray, and it looked really, really good on Blu-ray. And I will say this, the Blu-ray is reference quality in regards to the Blu-ray. If you are someone that is big on bonus features, I will say one of the downfalls with the 4K is that the bonus features are pretty much ported over from the Blu-ray. Like literally the 4K itself doesn't have bonus features. It's on the Blu-ray, which is also a part of it, as you see. So getting this is pretty much just for the video, the audio, and those are somehow, some way, a lot better than the Blu-ray, like, which is mind-blowing to say, but the HDR really does a lot for this film. Like, it looks incredible. It sounds incredible. Like, you feel as though you're watching it in the theater again, and it's truly something to behold. As you can see, the packaging is pretty bare minimum, but again, I have this as an honorable mention because I truly do mean it when I say that the video quality and audio quality are on a totally another level. So, highly recommend it. It is digitally shot, but again, it's spectacular. So, highly recommend this. Next up, we have JFK. So this is a film with an interesting backstory of mine. So I saw this film originally at my local library on DVD. And then I watched it a couple times on streaming. And I ended up buying it, what was it, a year and a half ago? I ended up buying it on my Vudu account because I was like, I'm not going to pick up the Blu-ray because the Blu-ray is out of print and it's super expensive. I'm going to wait and hopefully cross my fingers that it will get a 4K release. And so lo and behold, I got the news that this was coming out 4K. And of course I decided that I was going to be, picking it up on 4K. And I will say the only negative I have with this release is a minor quibble, depending on if you are someone that prefers the director's cut or the theatrical cut. This is a 4-disc set. And on the 4K, you have the director's cut. So the director's cut has, the HDR, has all that work that was done to it. And then the Blu-ray is where the theatrical cut is. So the theatrical cut, unfortunately, doesn't have a 4K release. But at the same time, I am happy to just have the Blu-ray of the theatrical cut. Because although I prefer the theatrical cut, I do love the director's cut too. And so that's the one that I watched on 4K. And it does look and sound amazing. And also the bonus features, there's so many bonus features. There's a couple discs worth, and there's a lot of new ones too. So if you are a fan of JFK, I would highly recommend you pick this up. If you haven't watched JFK just yet, I would recommend it like highly, although it is a film that is controversial in terms of the history aspect, but in terms of a film, it's one of my favorites. And again, the packaging, as you see, it's really, really good. And then also just having the 4K and the Blu-ray is really top notch. Definitely reference quality, in my opinion. So that was an honorable mention. Next honorable mention, we have Nightmare Alley. So Nightmare Alley is a film that, in terms of my backstory, I saw it in theaters. I thought it was okay, but when it got nominated for Best Picture, I decided to rewatch it, as well as I just couldn't get it out of my head. So I watched it on HBO Max the second time, and I thought it was good. In fact, the film I liked a lot better. But the actual presentation, I could tell that it was streaming. And I say that because it was like one of those things where I was like, this doesn't look as great as how it was in theaters. So because I liked the film, though, I decided to pick it up on 4K. And I ended up watching it twice on 4K in terms of the physical media release. And it is light years beyond amazing in terms of being super, super great looking in terms of the 4K presentation, but the audio also is outstanding. Now, I also just want to say this. I'm saying that this is a better Del Toro film in terms of the look and the audio than his other films. And that's saying a lot because Pan's Labyrinth is my favorite of his. But in terms of 4K presentation, I have to give it to Nightmare Alley because it's on another level. The only thing I would dock points for in terms of not the presentation, but the physical media release, is that unfortunately there really isn't that many behind the scenes, which is definitely going to be something that many people will be disappointed with. But at the same time, it's a film that you want to pick up for the 4K of the video presentation and the audio, and also if you're a fan of the film. So this is definitely the way to go. The Blu-ray I've heard looks good, but this is a must-own in terms of the 4K. So that was an honorable mention. Next up, we have Blade Runner 2049. So this is the film I saw, 3-4 times in theaters. So I guess you could say I loved this film. And then I watched it on Blu-ray once, I believe it was. And I thought the Blu-ray looked good, quite good. But at the same time, at that point in my life, was starting to get into 4Ks. And I was like, you know what, I'm going to upgrade to 4K. And I'm glad that I did because although the Blu-ray, again, is quite good, the 4K is on another level. Although if you are someone that is into bonus features, there's no real added bonus features. This is the 4K with the Blu-ray, and the bonus features are on the Blu-ray. So this is one of those films where you're picking it up for the video and the audio, and thankfully both are reference quality. Definitely a great looking and sounding film. Hans Zimmer's score is just truly god tier in regards to this film. As well as Benjamin Allen Walsh, which I always mispronounce his last name, and I apologize. But yeah, this is a film that if you like the film and you're teetering about upgrading, go for it. Please upgrade this. If you're someone that is just now getting into physical media, you need to own this in your collection. This is what you show off to everyone. And the last honorable mention, this is Jaws. So Jaws, I want to give a shout out to Universal Pictures. And the reason why I am is because Blade Runner 2049 and Nightmare Alley, although I love both films and I love the 4K to both of them, this is what I absolutely love about physical media. This is something that it's the 45-year anniversary limited edition. So similar to To Kill a Mockingbird, it comes with the 4K, the Blu-ray, digital code, and a collectible book, which I think is really cool. And also this slipcover. And also it's... as you can see. So it's something, it feels really special. But not only that, the video quality, it's incredible. I watched this on DVD the first time, and then I've seen it on Blu-ray. Actually, did I used to own it on Blu-ray? Yeah, I think I did used to own it on Blu-ray. So it always looked good, but here it's looked never better. I mean, it's never looked better. It looks magnificent. Definitely the way to go. If you have your Blu-ray for this film, upgrade it, please. You'll thank me later. But yeah, those are my honorable mentions. So now, guys, let's get into the nitty-gritty top 10. So my number 10, we have The Shining. So this is a film that I owned on DVD, I owned it on Blu-ray, and then when I did hear the news about it getting a 4K restoration, I did end up seeing it in theaters in 4K, and it looks incredible. And I have to say, the 4K restoration on physical media looks just as great as when I saw it in theaters October 2019. This is a magnificent release. I absolutely love the video quality, love the audio. It looks incredible. And I will say, in terms of what's it called, bonus features, there's not too much. I mean, there's enough to where I'm able to say, like, hey, it's better than, you know, some other releases that I mentioned, like Nightmare Alley and Blade Runner 2049, but it doesn't have as much as, like, say, like Jaws or JFK, but still, there is a decent amount. And again, this is a film that, especially for horror fans, you need to own this on 4K. It is light years better than the Blu-ray and, of course, the DVD. Highly recommend this, and that's why it's my number 10. Next up, my number 9, I'm kind of cheating here, but my number 9 is the Lord of the Rings trilogy. So the Lord of the Rings trilogy looks magnificent on 4K. It sounds great. I also love the fact that it does come with both editions. It comes with the theatrical cut of each one, as well as the extended cut of each one, which is awesome. The only thing I will say that is kind of a downfall about this release is that those of you that want bonus features, there's none to be had. This is just specifically speaking the 4K releases, as well as just the 4K releases. So, and also the setup of it is, it's okay. Like, I do like the fact that each one has its own like slip, which is nice. I'm gonna have to keep that in. Can't believe that happened. So that is the one downfall of sometimes of these, is that sometimes they'll fall out, but still, I would recommend this release because, again, it looks great and it sounds great, but I don't know if we're ever going to get a 4K release of Lord of the Rings that has all the bonus features. So if you are someone that has previously done Lord of the Rings on Blu-ray and you have all the bonus features, I would say keep that, but still, you want to upgrade this because the actual video and audio quality, it's on another level. So highly recommend upgrading this. So that was my number 9. And my number 8, I'm cheating here again. So my number 8, we have Indiana Jones, the quadrilogy, because there was not a 5th movie made. Not at all. Anyways, so yeah, here, Indiana Jones, I really couldn't pick one that was like reference quality, although it's back and forth. Like, for me, it's either Raiders of the Lost Ark or Temple of Doom, but I have to say all 4 look incredible in 4K. Now, that being said, I will say that if you do own the Blu-ray set, which I have to say, I do own the Blu-ray set. The Blu-ray set is good. It's quite good. I do like it. But I upgraded the 4K because I just think the 4K is amazing. Like, I heard so many rave reviews and it lived up to it. Like, thankfully, it sounds great. It looks great. And more importantly, each one, there was definitely a lot of care put into the restoration. I will say the only downfall is that bonus feature-wise, there's a Blu-ray disc that does have some, but it's not like a lot the way that some of the Blu-rays did. And I will also say that it is 4K and digital codes only, so it's not one of the sets that has like 4K and Blu-ray, unfortunately. It just has 4K, so if you are someone that liked the look of the Blu-rays, I would say just keep that, but I would recommend upgrading the 4K Indiana Jones movies because they do and look and sound amazing. Highly recommend picking them up on 4K. So that was my number 8. My number 7 will not be the last time I cheat. That's all I'll say. My number 7 is the Dark Knight trilogy. Like I said, I couldn't choose. I think that these 3 films are immaculate representations of what 4K can do. Christopher Nolan shot a lot of these in IMAX, especially The Dark Knight Rises, and the IMAX sequences are incredible. It's actually kind of funny because about a year or so ago, I remember one of my friends was like, he owned The Dark Knight on Blu-ray, and he was like, well, what's the point of, upgrading from Blu-ray to 4K? And instead of going on my spiel that I did at the beginning of this video, all I did was say, hey, look, I'll pull out the Blu-ray, which thankfully this comes with 4K and Blu-ray. I'll pull out the Blu-ray, we'll watch the opening scene of Blu-ray, and then we'll watch the opening scene of 4K. We did that, and immediately he was like, I'm sold. Yes, the 4K is that much better in terms of the releases. And again, these Blu-rays are still really good. In fact, the Dark Knight Rises Blu-ray is what really got me into Blu-rays in the first place. But on 4K, these 3 films are must-owns. A lot of the time, these 3 movies are sold together, so I think that sometimes, though, they do bump up the price. So you could buy these individually. I know I got these three on Black Friday. What was it? 2019. I got them $10 a piece. So, because I think the set it was like $50, so I was like, I'll buy them separately, save money. But these three films are must-own 4Ks. The video quality, the audio quality, and then bonus feature-wise, Christopher Nolan sometimes just doesn't really have bonus features, and this is definitely the case. So, highly recommend you guys picking this up, though. And next up, my number 6, we have The Shawshank Redemption. So this is a film that is one of my favorite films of all time, and I've owned it on DVD, I've owned it on Blu-ray, and now I've owned it on 4K. And I will say this, if you are used to the look of DVDs and Blu-rays for this film, you might not like this release because this film looks a lot darker. I think that is because of the HDR, but it's also, from what I understand, the original intent of Frank Darabont, like how he wanted the film to look. So in that regards, going with what the filmmaker intended, it fits. And then not only that, I actually like how dark it looks. It does a really good job of matching the setting, the tone, and at the same time, when the film is very hopeful, those colors really come into play even better than I could imagine. So it's one of those things where it really depends on your preference. Like if you are set in your ways in regards to the look of this movie in terms of the Blu-ray, then don't bother upgrading. But if you're like myself and want to watch the film the way that the director intended, as well as really appreciate that aesthetic that they were going for with this 4K release, I would highly recommend it. Bonus features, it's pretty much ported over from the Blu-ray, but the video quality and the audio quality of this is reference quality. I absolutely love the look of it, and that's why it's my number 6. All right, now we get into the top 5, guys, and my number 5, this is the last time that I will cheat. My number 5, we have the Godfather trilogy. So the Godfather trilogy, I'll just say this right up front. I love Godfather 1. I love Godfather 2. Godfather 3, not a fan of. So this is just going to be specifically me talking about 1 and 2. Godfather 1 and 2 are outstanding. I've seen them on DVD. I've seen them on Blu-ray. In fact, I recently just sold my Blu-ray set. And I've seen it, of course, now on 4K. I actually saw Godfather 1 in theaters. They had for the 50th anniversary, they had it shown in theaters. And looked outstanding. And I have to say, the 4K restoration is just amazing. It really is. Especially for Godfather Part 2. Both of these films are just amazing. From a video and audio standpoint, you must own this trilogy. This is what every cinephile, every film buff needs to own. And especially people that collect physical media. You need to own this. There are some, special features that are added that weren't on the Blu-ray, and that is Full Circle, Preserving the Godfather, Capturing the Corleones Through the Lens of Photographer Steve Shapiro, Godfather Home Movies, and Restoration Comparisons. And then it has the usual stuff that was from the Blu-rays. The packaging is interesting in that it is kind of small, but at the same time, it is kind of nice because in terms of storage space, it's not as big as it could be, so that is nice. And I do like that it gets, each movie gets its own, little case, so that is nice. But yeah, I highly recommend this trilogy in terms of not only just the packaging, which I'm a huge fan of, as you can see, but I also just like the feel of it. I like the sound. I like the visual quality. It's just, it must be owned by everybody. And next up, my number 4, we have Blade Runner. Yeah, Blade Runner was one of my first 4Ks that I picked up. Immediately, I was like, you know what? I've seen this on DVD. I've seen it on Blu-ray. I've been happy with both. Let's see how it looks on 4K. And my goodness, this is, as you can see, one of the best 4Ks I've ever seen. I'm blown away by this 4K, honestly. I think that if you like sci-fi, you haven't seen it before, I would blind buy the 4K, honestly. You'll be very happy. You'll thank me later, I promise. Also sounds great. Vangelis' score just really encapsulates the feel of the film, and also just when it comes into the sound mix, perfection. Just a visual treat, an audio treat, an overall great film. Yeah. Pick this up. So yeah, that was my number 4. And now my number 3. This is a film that I've also seen in regards to pretty much every format, at least every newer format, and that is Apocalypse Now. So Apocalypse Now, I've owned on DVD, I've owned on Blu-ray, and now as you can see, I own it on 4K. This is, I forgot to mention the Blade Runner set. The Blade Runner set in regards to bonus features, it's all right. I like that one mostly, again, because of the video and audio presentation, but Apocalypse Now, it's legit the full package. As you can see, this is a 4K plus Blu-ray plus digital set. It's also the 40-year anniversary edition. It's a 6-disc set. It comes with all 3 cuts of the movie, and it's not like, oh, these 3 cuts are like one's on the Blu-ray and then one's on the 4K. No, all 3 cuts are on 4K. All 3 cuts are on Blu-ray. So it's not like JFK where it's like one's on the Blu-ray, one's on the 4K. No, all 3 cuts get Blu-rays and 4Ks. It's awesome. It's great. And also the packaging itself, again, it looks really cool. It's very unique. And I got this for $10. I got a 6-disc set for $10 Black Friday of 2019. It was amazing. And honestly, Apocalypse Now has always been a film that when I saw it on DVD, I was like, this film looks like it came out yesterday when I saw it first in 2014. And then watching it on Blu-ray, I was like, it somehow looks even better. And watching it on 4K, that is when I was like, dear Lord in heaven, this is truly incredible. It is amazing. The look of this film on 4K is just, it's God tier. The audio is also just amazing. Literally the opening scene, you can hear the helicopter going from one speaker to the next, like just going like, it's awesome. Highly, highly recommend this. You need to own this on 4K. You need to. But yeah, Apocalypse Now, it's my number 3. Next up, my number 2, this is a film where I was like, should I even show this film, like in terms of like physical media, because it's hard to find. But yeah, guys, I'm gonna show it. My number 2 is Lawrence of Arabia. So Lawrence of Arabia, there is a lot of backstory on how I got this 4K media release. And if you don't follow me on Letterboxd, I highly recommend you follow me on Letterboxd, and so you can see the full story. I wrote paragraphs about my journey of getting this on 4K. Wasn't easy, I'll tell you that. But what I will say is this, without spoiling the journey that you'll check out on Letterboxd, I will say this. When I first saw Lawrence of Arabia, I saw it on DVD. I thought the film was solid, but I thought that it looked really good on DVD. Blu-ray, I ended up watching, I got it at my local library like a year or so ago because I couldn't find the 4K. It was out of print at that point. So I saw it on Blu-ray. I thought it looked really, really good, like one of the best looking Blu-rays. And then, as you see, I somehow managed to get a copy on 4K, and it is by far one of the best looking, best sounding, best releases I have ever seen. I know some people don't like steelbooks. That's fine. But even still, this comes with so many bonus features. I personally kind of like the look, not gonna lie. And I also like the fact that it comes with the 4K and it comes with Blu-rays, comes with digital codes. So it is legit the full package. It is one of the finest 4Ks that if you can track down, I highly advise you to get this in your collection. It is worth it. Trust me. Yeah, especially if you're a fan of the film. But every physical media collector needs to own this. I don't know if we'll ever get a normal release, and that's why I was so sought after finding the steelbook. So as you can see, I managed to do so. Own Lawrence of Arabia on 4K. But anyways, so that was my number 2. My number 1, this is the film that when people say, hey, what's a film that really showcases 4K to the fullest? This is the film that always comes to the top of my head, has been for the last several years. And that is 2001, A Space Odyssey. Yeah, this is one of the, if not the greatest looking films I've ever seen. I love the look of this film. I think the audio is also just incredible. And not only that, this is a film that when I first saw it, I got the DVD out from the library, thought it looked really good, saw it on Blu-ray, owned it on Blu-ray actually, and I thought it looked great. Saw it in theaters on the new 4K restoration when it was the what was it, the 50th year anniversary. I saw it in theaters, it looks great, and I immediately knew that I had to pick it up on 4K, and I'm glad that I did because this is such a great release. It comes with the restoration of the 5.1 theatrical audio format, which is awesome. It's of course 4K. It comes with special features that are four insightful featurettes. It also showcases FX and early conceptual artwork. And then also, and what I really love about it is that it comes with this little booklet, which comes with like pictures from the actual film. And again, I just love the packaging itself too. Like this is just really something special. It does kind of stink though, because if you were to pick it up now, it would probably just come like this. So this packaging itself was kind of limited time, unfortunately, but still, even though it would just be this, I would still recommend you pick this up because it is incredible. It's incredible. So yeah, that is my top 10 must-own 4K UHDs, which by the way stands for ultra high definition. I definitely want to hear the top 10 4Ks that in your opinion are the must own. And also I will say this was a hard list to do. There are plenty of films where it was so close to making the list, and I was just like, I can't. Like The Bridge on the River Kwai, that almost made the list because I think that's an incredible 4K. There's so many to choose from. These are the 15 though that I was like, you know what, people need to know about. So again, I want to hear your top 10 4Ks, physical medias down below, and also I really appreciate the support, guys. Don't forget the subscription, notification bell, follow me on Letterboxd, and I will catch you guys later.